Can I ask you a serious question?
Absolutely not.
Mines of England in the late 19th century, children would work in the iron ore mines in Wales, and women would work in the mines. And the intensity of the exploitation was so serious that the children were dying at such a rate, and women who were hauling the ore up to the surface from the mine, their pelvises were getting shifted, so they couldn't give birth. And the reason they were using women and not mules is because in those days there's no exhaust fans, so you can't have any urinating in the mines because the smell from the methane from the urination would poison the air. So you're not allowed to pee. And they were literally wiping out the women, so the birth rate was declining so quickly. They were literally, physically demolishing the working class in the mining populations of Wales. Well, capitalists emerge, and in the government level, who see in terms of systemic risk, because this wasn't just happening to miners, it was happening to the working class throughout England, that you can't have absolutely unfettered exploitation of workers, or you won't have any workers.
The mass of people in the 1930s in this country didn't take it lying down. 3 organizations organized quickly in the 1930s. The first was the CIO. In a matter of months, tens of millions of Americans who had never been in a union before joined it. And the other organizations, socialist parties, more than one, and the American Communist Party. And they went to the president, Franklin Roosevelt, and they said to him, "We demand you do something for the millions who are suffering. Unemployment, losing their homes through foreclosure, the whole bit." And amongst us, there are some, those socialists and communists over there, they want to go even further. They don't just want you to help us, they want to change the system. He went to his friends, the rich and the corporate leaders of America, and he said to them, "You see all those demonstrations in the streets? Hear what they came and told me." And he repeated the story. So he said, "I got an idea. You're going to have to give me, you rich people and you corporate, you're going to have to give me a lot of money. And I'm going to use the money to help the mass of people. You can, of course, decide not to do it, in which case those socialists and communists coming down the road are going to take from you everything you have, and you'll not be in a position to give or not give because you won't have it anymore. Have a nice day."
I've fallen to the communists.
Well, they do have some strong arguments.
Roosevelt launched the New Deal, which created programs like Social Security, unemployment insurance, and massive public works projects designed to provide jobs for Americans.
Comes the sun, here comes the sun, I say it's alright.
For 50 years, we have no bank failures, no major crises. It works.
Do you understand?
Let me get this straight.
The large, thriving middle class that America used to have didn't just appear out of the blue. It was created using an economic tool called socialism. That is exactly what our government did after World War II. It taxed the rich up to 90% and massively redistributed that money through the GI Bill so that more than half the population benefited from free college, free job training, cheap mortgages, and much, much more. Yes, for a brief shining moment, we were Finland. Now, we can debate whether that's a good thing or a bad thing to go back to, but what is beyond debate is that that is what happened. The 50s and 60s are the era of socialism in America, and that is when a family needed only one breadwinner and a house cost only 2 years' salary. It was when a man could afford college for his kids and dinner at a chop house with the missus, followed by missionary sex in a paneled rec room. On a plastic-covered sofa that wipes clean. Because here's the reality. A middle class is actually not the normal byproduct of capitalism. Ask any historian. A middle class is actually a fluke in history. Like in the 14th century, a middle class was created in Europe when, during the Black Plague, a third of the population died, resulting in a labor shortage and increased bargaining power for workers. So that's one way to create a middle class. But it is kind of hard to see it on a campaign poster.
Shit! We're all in it together, kid.